I am honestly wondering why we are told to count it all joy as Christians when we fall into different kind of temptation. And I realize that temptation for a Christian, especially when that Christian actually yields into that temptation, I discovered that Christians that fell into trial and the Lord helped them to come back to the faith, they are usually very strong and very dogged. In fact, when you hear those Christians tell you how the Lord rescued them, many times they don't ever want to go back there. And they are the ones that have the power and the experience and the knowledge to teach someone that is about to enter the same temptation, to tell them that don't go that path. Let me tell you what I went through in the hand of the wicked. Now the Bible told us in the book of James, rather, chapter 1, verses 2, that my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. To fall means to fall from a higher level to a lower level, typically rapidly and without control. Now the Bible says you should count it all joy when you fall, when you move from a higher level to a lower level rapidly without control into temptation, which is something wrong and unwise. Temptation is when you fall into something wrong and unwise, something that enticed you. Now, why the scripture tell us to count it all joy? The answer was given in the same book of James chapter 1 verses 3. It says, knowing this, that the trial of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, so that you can become perfect and entire. See, temptation in itself is not anything given to us by God. Every Christian falls into temptation when he or her is drawn away by his own lust, according to James chapter 1 verses 13. If you have the lust for affection, you will fall into a wrong relationship. If you have the lust for money, you are going to fall into all kinds of crime that has to do with money. If you have the lust of relationship, you desire relationship, your temptation will come along that same line of you falling into wrong association. So temptation in itself is not given unto us by God, but God is telling you that when you fall into temptation, you should count it all joy, because that temptation, if you allow yourself actually go through it and learn your lessons, it's going to stretch your patience. And when it stretches your patience, you will become perfect and entire. That means complete. I give you an instance. Someone that went into stealing, money laundering, and he found himself in prison. Do you know what he will go through in prison? I was opportune one day to visit the prison. In fact, the prisoners were telling me, please, when you get to Nigeria, help me greet you. Help me greet the president. Because where they were staying was hell. In fact, those that were waiting for trial, I saw the way they were living. It was so crazy. So the believer that went into financial temptation and fell inside and finds himself in prison, that prison experience will stretch his patience. When he stretches his patience, according to verses 4 of James chapter 1, but let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. When that prison experience stretches what that person's patience, when the person has learned the hard way, that person will become perfect and complete and wants nothing. That's why when Jesus was talking to Peter, he said, when you are strengthened, go and strengthen thy brethren. So those of you that are able to endure temptation, the Bible said that you are blessed. You that temptations have been coming your way, but you endure it, I celebrate you. James chapter 1 verses 12 is for you. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. So you that is enduring temptation, I'm not telling you to go and fall into temptation. Those that don't fall, they receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. But those that fall into diverse temptation, James chapter 1 verses 2, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. Count it as joy. That temptation is going to make you wiser. That temptation is going to make you better. That temptation is going to make you prevent those that will actually fall into temptation not to take that path. that temptation is going to work a lot of patience in you. You just imagine the child of God that God is warning, don't go for hookup, don't go for akuna. That child of God does not want to hear. You now get into that place of hookup, and they are trying to use you for rituals, and somehow, they cut a part of your body, but you're able to jump the fence and escape. When you go back to the Lord, you will not try it again. And when a young child comes to you, you will say, wetin you talk say you won't go do. Let me tell you my story. So you know the beauty of falling into temptation. It makes you learn, though in the hard way, but you become entire, you become perfect. And you are wanting in nothing. You are wanting in nothing. So you that is going through temptation, go through it. Go through it. Make sure you learn the lessons. I pray you don't die while you are in that temptation. But when God helps you and you jack up, please strengthen thy brethren. That's why you see sometimes we hold programs for women to come out and talk about their dark experiences so that somebody else will learn. So definitely people will fall into temptation. So go through what you are going through. But I pray that the Lord will help you to look up unto heaven so that your sanity can return unto you and you will come back to the maker of life. It was when Nebuchadnezzar looked unto heaven and acknowledged God that his sanity came back to him. Don't forget to cry on time to God and leave that darkness that you are. There is no beauty inside there. The only thing is that you are going to get better and stronger, but you are going to learn the hard way. My name is Aleladia. I am a messenger and an errand runner from Jesus Christ unto you. Once has the Lord spoken, twice you should know that power belongs unto God. I will definitely see you in Shalom.